Welcome to Edge of the Rabbit Hole. Sorry for being a couple minutes late here, a few technical difficulties. It's that whole Windows decided to run updates and reboot on me like an hour ago, right? And here we are like a couple minutes late because of all that. But yeah, computers for you, which was essentially my day in a boring technology conference. But here now with all of you and with the lovely Vanessa Hogle as well. And of course, Shana, our chat Shananigator, down there in the chat room. So hope everybody is doing well tonight. I saw Robert White was the first one in the chat tonight. See who all we have in there. And I'm sorry, Vanessa, you can say hi.
Hey.
There she is. All right, so let's show all of you. And so yeah, so Robert's in, Vanessa's in the chat room. All right.
Hey.
Beat 3 Airspace, Jay from Michigan. He was also pretty early. There is Lynn's, and Andrew Cox is on board. He's in, and we'll do some more shout outs throughout the evening. But yeah, I wanted to welcome everybody out tonight. Let's go ahead and do that housekeeping stuff, right?
Okay, now, so, Mike, let me tell you before we start.
All right.
On the YouTube that I've got put up on my phone, it's got our regular banner, and then it says "Waiting for Haunted Road Media."
I'm looking at it, and it appears that the video is going. So
okay.
I don't know.
It might just be me.
It might just be you. There's Tammy Heitzman saying hi all, and there is Shauna, our chat Shananigator. So yeah, B3 Airspace says glow in the dark ghosty rocks, and there is Ghosty. So I think that's a little feedback on Vanessa's end, but yeah, there's Ghosty. Still available, of course, hauntedroadmedia.com. Go to just go out there, click on shop, and he'll come right up, and you can get your Ghosty posted. I have been a little behind on the Ghosty Facebook page. Posted some stuff up there real quick tonight, so you go check out. He was on a cruise. Nikki Stewart from Jersey Paranormal Investigations took him on a cruise, so those were pretty cool to look at. I know is it Eric or Sean from EVP had him on an investigation, and what's that?
Why ain't he taking me on a cruise? That ain't even right.
Oh yeah.
Go saw the action.
So yeah, it was Sean or Eric from EVP that took him on an investigation, and then I know Sabrina's taking him out to a couple places. So, and then of course Shauna and I take Ghosty out to places too. So we'll have more of his adventures coming up. So get your Ghosty. All right, and then of course everybody liked the. I'll throw it up there for now. The T-shirt idea. Come on, T-shirt. There we go. There it is. Edge of the Rabbit Hole live stream. Mad Hatters. Yes, all you crazy Mad Hatters out there in the chat room with your chat Shananigator. It'll be a few weeks before the shirts are in, but they are ordered. And yeah, I know people are looking forward to them. So, good deal. All right, so let's go ahead and yeah.
Real quick, if you see me looking down, I can't see you on my computer, so I'm watching you on my phone.
You can't see me on my computer. Well, let's.
But everyone else can see you fine.
Everybody else can. Apparently, everybody else can see. Let me check real quick.
It's okay. I can watch you on my phone. It's not a big deal. And y'all, thanks for the compliments on the hair. I tried.
Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It has it set for the right one.
It's probably me. It's just my jacked up situation.
Well, we can do this. I'll just throw it on the webcam for you. They can't see that, but you can. Let me try to throw it back to the front. Yeah, that's weird. I see what it's doing.
Yeah, that's I can really see the weird. H and the A.
Yeah, that's really weird. What about this, if I throw it on that? I don't even know what that is. That's another... That's like another angle.
I know, right?
Yeah, you guys, I'm sorry, they're not seeing. You guys aren't seeing any of this. It's either we'll leave it on this. I guess it's the webcam, and which is probably better for you than looking at the H and the A on the banner is what she was seeing. Weird.
Yeah.
But that's ever since it did the update. Crazy shit. So, All right. So we'll leave it at that. You'll see me in the webcam. They're seeing all this that we're broadcasting. I'll just verify. Yeah. Okay.
There you are. Hi.
Okay. Lynn's is saying, love the hair, Vanessa.
See the girl? I got it.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Awesome. Charmy Vapes and Fly says, hey, Michael and Vanessa. How's it going? All right. So, well, let's get into tonight's topic. And that is about saving haunted history from being history. You know, kind of the whole play on words that, you know, we say something's history, that, you know, it's gone, it's done, it's over with. And, you know, there's a number of haunted locations out there, you know, we've been trying to help that, you know, are endangered of being gone, of being history. And, you know, it's something that you know, this past week, and I know we talked about it at the beginning of Edge of the Rabbit Hole last time, because it was like, you know, brand new. We just thrown it out there, which was the GoFundMe for the Goldenrod Showboat, and so you know, that's become very serious, and I don't know all the details of what's going on with that right now. Shana was telling me a few things last night. She's even still looking for more answers, but it does not look good for the Goldenrod. So, you know, the GoFundMe is still out there, but it's we need something serious to happen. You know, and here, I'll go ahead. For those that are not familiar with the Goldenrod Showboat, this is the beauty that we are talking about here. There we go. Goldenrod Showboat, currently in Campsville, Illinois. It spent decades on the Mississippi riverfront there in St. Louis, many years right in front of the arch. When they were building it, you could look down and there was the Goldenrod Showboat. There's a lot of flooding that's taken place in the area, and you know, it's been run aground for a couple years now, as they've tried to make plans to, you know, get it renovated, get it restored. They were going to move it back to the St. Louis area this year, and then the floodwaters came in, and actually the boat started floating again, which wasn't good because it was also taking on water, and depending on where it lands, there could be problems with that. And so there's you know, there's insurance issues with the people that own the land, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So she still needs everybody's help. You know, and
now, what are we looking at on that, Mike? I mean, what number are we looking at? Do we have an idea? Is there a chance of getting organizations involved?
Well, I know that they've tried that. The Riverboat Association has tried getting some organizations involved before. I had thrown up the other day to Shana, you know, while I was driving back, you know, from Oklahoma and Illinois. I was all over the place this past weekend. But, you know, as I was driving, I'm trying to think of, you know, projects that we could be doing that could help out. And so, you know, this whole title, saving history from being history, or saving haunted history from being history, to me came across in my mind as an idea for a project for, you know, specifically, you know, we're talking like big, high production project on, you know, covering, you know, the Goldenrod and other places that may be in danger, and, you know, the Haunted Road Media only has so much. You know, we're still kind of small. We're building. We're trying to get there ourselves. But, you know, there are organizations that, you know, will give grants for you know, video production projects like that. And I was thinking, you know, the National Endowment for the Humanities. You know, they give grants for video projects like that. So, you know, they have a whole application process. But it's one where, you know, just with the developments from this week, it's more of an immediate need. And, you know, their application process is in August for funds for next year. So I'm sure I could write up a really great grant that might be able to, get us something to make that happen. Just from doing a video that, of course, it would, spread awareness, so it doesn't directly put money into the pocket of the showboat. But we're talking like high distribution, like big time nationwide type stuff. Kind of almost like stuff that you would find on like PBS or the History Channel or something like that. That's where we would like market something like that too.
Well, now that you bring that up, Mike, hold it.
Sure.
What is his last name? His first name is Ken. He does amazing documentaries, amazing ones. He did
Ken Burns.
Ken Burns, yes.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff. He would do like that whole era, is what Ken Burns would do. He would, like he's done the Civil War. He did baseball. He did the West. He's done. He did the Roosevelts. So he's done a lot of different stuff. Just thinking about the type of thing that he would do, it would like encompass the entire showboat, riverboat era. So the Golden Rod would be included in that.
Yeah, but it might be an idea. I mean, if we could get that idea to him, yeah. It's not something that he's done before. And who's to say? I mean, the worst somebody can say is no.
Well, I mean, sure, I can. We'll get him on the phone.
Oh, I'm saying.
No, I know, I get it. I would have to figure out how to get a hold of him, pitch him an idea, and all of that. I mean, it's something that maybe I could be a writer on, but I was looking for something for us to do that would be directly, goldenrod and other endangered, haunted historic locations. So, and that would be, our angle, saving history from being history. A paranormal perspective or a haunted perspective or something like that. So a couple comments from the chat room, because people are asking who actually owns the boat, are there boat repairers able to get in there, and Shana's saying that a few dollars here, a few dollars there isn't really working out. So she's answering some of those questions for the people in the chat room.
Robert White just had an amazing idea.
So,
if owners are willing to do it, he said school projects, universities that are taking shop to start repairs. I mean, that's something.
The problem right now is an insurance problem, and Shauna's kind of also pointing out the group she belongs to, the caretakers own the boat, and then there's a different group that owns the land, and that was all kind of split up and hashed out last year. So there's still political wrangling going on with that. And then there's the insurance company, which that was kind of news this past week. So Diane Hilbert says at least Shana and I got hand-fasted on there last October, which was, yes, fantastic. Let's see. What else was there? Yeah, I see Robert saying that. and then Shana says, boils down to needing more money than we have. The landowners at this point just want to be done with it all. All these ideas about documentaries, etc. are wonderful. The boat is massive, and we have no insurance because it's been dropped. Drama from landowners, yada, yada, yada. Nobody's allowed on the boat right now. So that's another big issue because the insurance has been dropped. Nobody's allowed on there right now. So that's kind of the latest development.
Damn. Okay. So where does that leave us?
Scrambling. There's going to be some wrangling between the Riverboat Association and the owners again, which is all stuff that happened last year. I'm sorry?
You just froze.
I just froze.
There you are.
You froze. I think we both froze.
We did.
Yeah. So I'm seeing video output low on YouTube, so it must be an internet issue or something.
Okay. So where does that leave us? I mean, what can we do?
That's a great question. Because they need some kind of Can we win the lottery? Can we get somebody with some big bucks in there? Yeah, and Shauna's kind of right. The idea for documentaries are great, but and maybe that'll spurn some people to throw money at it, and that's really what it is. And it's kind of where I wanted to take the discussion was that to me it's sad that we're doing everything that we can to try to throw information out there and throw whatever we can out there to try to get people on board to throw a few dollars at it, and to and thinking that the culmination of all that will do something and help. And you have all these people out there that are loaded, absolutely freaking loaded. And wouldn't it be great if a couple of them got on board and said, hey, this is a piece of American history that will be completely lost. That era, this represents that era of American history. If we lose that, it's gone. And it's sad that people don't, with that kind of money and influence, don't care about it.
To interrupt real quick,
yeah.
You have quite a bit of footage, because obviously now with no insurance, like you said, no one can get on there.
Yeah.
You have quite a bit of footage.
I have enough to do something, yeah.
Okay, Sean from Ectovision just asked if they could help, because they make documentaries. So if you have enough footage from being inside and in close proximity to the boat, and then additional footage can be taken of interviews, people who have had experiences on the boat, the history of the boat, all that encompasses that, maybe a documentary or something could be put together pretty damn fast.
Well, and maybe we could collaborate on something, because that's what we do at Haunted Road Media too. Is we do the documentaries.
Exactly. Well, contact Sean, because he put that in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, Tammy Heisman is asking, anyone know any historian or paranormal buff millionaires? Yeah, it's.
Well, but here's the thing. Actually, that brings up a really good point, and I think this is something that needs to be discussed. We have all these places, like you said, trying to save paranormal history from becoming history.
Yeah.
Okay. You have different groups and shows and everything else, and even just random people that go into these places all the time. Especially the shows. They're making money hand over fist, for themselves on using these locations. And then you watch the locations go deeper and deeper and deeper into shambles. And so it makes one wonder, why are they not being taken care of? If they're going to be used for these purposes, why are they not being taken care of?
Right.
Why is some of that not going to them? Because
and one of the things, kind of the, underlying agreement with all of this is that, they're going out there doing these shows, they're doing the investigations, and that gives the locations publicity. So that's where kind of the win-win comes in over there. These places are allowing, these shows to come in there and do their thing, so that their place, whether it's bed and breakfast or historic location or whatever it is, that it gets publicity, so people will want to come there. Shana says Vanessa's idea is great, but again, with zero insurance, nobody can get on the property to do documentaries. One of the things that Vanessa brought up, my love, is that I have a crap ton of footage that I have taken over the past year. So I actually do have enough footage to take that and make it a documentary. As far as like interviews and things like that, that can all be done actually away from the boat. We could throw a green screen. I have a green screen. Just put up the green screen, put an image of the boat on the background, and run with it. And I do have some interview footage with Jake, with Shana, there on the boat. So we have footage to do it. And just also throw something out there. I know we've been very goldenrod centric with this so far, and that's because it desperately needs help. This is all encompassing for historic locations that need help, that are struggling for funds to stay afloat. We heard about Mineral Springs Hotel from our friends Donna and Dave at It's Raining Zin, that Mineral Springs Hotel almost met the wrecking ball last year, and that's a great historic location as well. That's in Alton, Illinois. So
it's been on Facebook about the Bel Air house too.
Yeah, Bel Air house. That one's not necessarily meeting the wrecking ball as it is. It's at a point where it's going to be leaving the hands of Kristen Lee, who owns it, and her fear is that it will go to a family will buy it and a family will move in, and she doesn't want to have happen to them what happened to her and her family. So she's been for a while now, like she established the LLC and all that associated with the Bel Air house to show potential suitors for the house that, hey, this can be something that you can use to run paranormal investigations out of and do all of that as like a almost like a research house for the paranormal, instead of being a house that somebody will live in, and that kind of got thwarted with the legal issues of the mortgage. So.
Oh goodness. Well, and I mean, if this doesn't work out,
you're breaking up.
If you're not able to save the goldenrod. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. Try it again.
Okay, I'm back now. Am I back? Right. Yeah. If it doesn't work out being the way that you want it to, the documentary still needs to be done, because that will at least document that piece of history. And maybe it can go into a fund where it can help other locations if this one can't be saved. It's still something that needs to be done.
Yeah, and that's what I thought I was doing last year with the Ghosts and Legends video on the goldenrod. I mean, that was a farewell. That was a farewell video right there, and then months later, it was saved. So this is kind of almost like it's like a kick to the groin. It's like a tease and a kick to the groin that, hey, you have it back. It was saved, and it's gonna go to St. Louis, and all this stuff is gonna happen, and then boom. A couple other comments from the chat room. Diane Hilbert saying, right to the White House. There are government organizations that are supposed to be able to help with this, and I know Jay from the Riverboat Association is tried to get with those people. Let's see. Shana was saying, let's see, I scrolled past it. That at the mercy of the landowners, that they want the showboat to fail, and they could literally scrap it at any time. Which I know there's some stuff in there where, like, if they try to do that, then the Riverboat Association would get the EPA involved, and there would be some money exchanging hands or something like that.
Isn't it? I mean, it's a piece of history, though. Isn't there a historical preservation society that's not just Riverboat? There has to be other organizations that.
Yeah, and I know that they've talked to him, and say I don't know all that information of who was talked to and what was said and all of that. It used to be a National Historic Landmark, but when all that stuff was going down last year, where they were having to scrap it, they actually decommissioned that status as a National Historic Landmark. So it doesn't have that status anymore, even though it had been for like 50 years. Tammy Heisman is asking about reaching out to different local and semi-local media outlets to ask them to put a need for donations out there. Maybe, I know that some trouble came out of the local media being out there last week.
So
and B3 Airspace is saying it sounds like you need a lawyer, and Shana saying that they do have a lawyer, but that also costs money for the lawyer.
Is this more of a situation of the landowners kind of sabotaging any chance of saving it?
Well, yeah, the landowners just they want to cut ties. They want to be completely done with it. A couple of them are trying to retire and get out of the whole real estate, landowning business, and all that stuff, and they happen to have this boat on their land. So, they're trying to expedite just, getting rid of it so that they can, move on. And, I don't think there's any ill will in the sense that they want the boat to stay there to, keep these people from moving on with their lives. It's not that. They just, the boat is there temporarily. Like I said, there were these plans to move back to St. Louis. I don't know how all that was happening, except that was the plan. So they really just wanted it on there long enough to be able to dismantle it and move it. But right now there's issues with doing that just because the insurance pulled out. So that threw everything back up in arms.
Okay. It might be, and I can check my connections. I can go down to some people in New Orleans and see if maybe they have any ideas, because they preserved a lot of riverboats because they had them a lot down there.
Yeah.
Same with some of my connections in Branson, and see if there's any type of volunteer organization that could dismantle, maybe, and move it to where it needed to be moved. I mean, if that's an issue, since insurance pulled out, it would have to be a volunteer status. They'd obviously have to sign waivers, do whatever needed to be done, but it's a chance. I mean, what do you think? You want me to try?
Well, I mean, it's always worth a shot. I mean, put some feelers out there, see who you, any bit helps. And if somebody that you talk to happens to know somebody that knows a person or whatever that, has that, clout that's kind of needed to make something, seriously happen, that'd be great. So, of course, go ask around,
I know a few.
Yeah.
I'll call my stepdad.
There you go.
See what I can do.
Yeah, and this whole thing, it's sad that it, comes down to something like this. There's a lot of historic locations that go through things like this and are lost. And there's, kind of the same thing like with this. There's caretakers and volunteers and people who've put their heart and soul into a location like this, and all of a sudden, due to some money constraint or whatever, then it's gone and it's lost. And it's sad that there's not as much care put into our society for holding on to something historic. It's like some of the bigger monuments, of course, we can't, we got to make sure the Washington Monument's there and the Lincoln Memorial, and those things, of course, throw money at that. But some of these ones that maybe aren't as well known but still have a significant part to play, in the story of our nation, that just go by the wayside.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is look at New Orleans to see exactly how much people care about monuments.
Yeah.
Unless they agree with them, they don't give two shits. So I mean, and that's unfortunate. But it's an important topic, and it needs to be discussed. And if anybody in the chat knows anyone, I'll try my connections. I'll call my stepdad tomorrow. I'll try my connections. But if anybody knows anybody who knows anybody, that maybe we can get the ball rolling on this. It just went to the Skype screen. Oh, that's me. I look like shit, Ma. Put me on the full screen. What are you thinking? Did it?
You do now look like shit. I'm going to keep you there now just because you said that.
Oh, fucker. But what did you
know? When you start talking, I let you go, and I highlight you, and when we have a guest on, then it becomes the two of you. I mean, I do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, and I am drinking. Yeah, I don't have coffee. It's the
sweetened
green tea.
I was thinking that was something else. I was like,
what were you thinking it was?
Well,
I want to know what you were thinking this was. I don't know.
I thought it was like tequila.
Oh yeah. With my liver issue, that'd be great.
Like, damn, he just tipped that up. Go, Mike.
Yeah, just knocking it back.
Yeah, we saw an orb in my bedroom.
Hi Lily, good to see you. Fran Molino's also on. She said that we did a great job on the reporters last night. Thank you for watching that, or listening to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all so much. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Do we have a time frame? That's the two things. Do we have a time frame, and do we have a monetary goal?
Well, you know, and that's. Is Jake out there at all? Jake Medford, are you watching at all? We would love to get some definitive answers on this stuff. And even Shana had in the chat room that Jake is really the one to talk to that has, you know, all those sorts of details. And he's the vice president of the Riverboat Association. He's been out here a few times. He's a good guy. He really does care about the boat, and I know he's trying a lot. But he's the one with a lot of those types of details. As far as time frame, you know, they were talking before about late spring moving the boat to St. Louis. Well, now that's apparently not happening for the foreseeable future. So as far as, you know, needing, you know, the money to do something with the boat, I mean, it'd be like as soon as possible, because, you know, last year when all this stuff was going down, it was, I mean, when I went out there, it was like a month, and then they were gonna, you know, be done with it, and they were supposed to start scrapping it. You know, a couple days after they shut it down at the end of March last year, and you know, that's when they got, you know, some legal wrangling done to stop that from happening. So you know, really, it's as soon as we can get somebody to do something to help. Yeah, it's. I wish they had some of those details.
Robert had a good idea here. He said, sorry to ask, but I don't think you should be sorry. This actually is a good idea. Let me find it on here. He said, I hate to say it, but if you ask places like McDonald's or other fast food outlets that are in the area to make a donation board for the showboat, it might generate some funds. And he's not wrong in that.
Well, yeah, I mean, any bit like that will help.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that if Shana could go around and maybe see if something like that could go out, you'd be amazed at how much money that generates. Because people see the little jar with a little hole in it and a picture, and half the time they don't even read it. They just put their extra change in it. And it builds up very, very, very fast. Very fast. But yeah, does it have to go to St. Louis?
Well, yeah, and Carrie's even kind of bringing that up. He's worried about, you know, risking disturbing the place it is in the universe and all that. And Carrie, it's actually been in St. Louis probably about 5 times as long as it's been in Campsville. So it was, you know, that was its main base of operations for, you know, 50, 60 years, something like that. Because what they docked it there in the 30s, and it didn't move out of there until the 90s. So St. Louis is its home. It's not home right now. So you know, I understand the desire to move it back there, because it was, you know, that's where its legend was made. You know, and I mentioned earlier about, you know, the photographs of them building the Gateway Arch. You look down in the water, there's the goldenrod. So it was a whole part of that as well. You know, part of the landscape when they were putting up that, you know, great memorial. There was another one that I missed here. Oh, B3 Airspace was talking about networks putting together a show like Saving the Paranormal. Yeah, it's, you know, if networks wouldn't hog all the money, I guess. You know, and one of the things that we're doing, something that Haunted Run Media is moving more toward, you know, with the books, like Encounters with Paranormal 2 specifically, goes to help the Goldenrod. The next one that's coming out, Encounters with Paranormal 3, is going to help Mineral Springs Hotel. So yeah, that's something that we're trying to, you know, help, you know, make people aware of, is that, you know, these great haunted locations that are out there that meet this fate. You know, I worked in the IT department of a library system for 7 years, And I saw just through there how difficult it was for, for the library system and for different, you know, parts of education, pieces of sectors of education within the county that also included, some of the historic locations like the Historical Society and all that. And I got to see a bit firsthand how difficult it is for them to try to raise money because, people want to throw money at other things that, and some are legit. We've seen some of the comments out there about how, well, that money should be used toward education. Okay. I hear what you're saying about education, but these locations are education. They are living history that I'll bet you any amount of money that a kid going to, a place like the Goldenrod, as long as it was made kind of safe again for a child to go on, a kid going to the Goldenrod showboat to experience, an old-time melodrama or a ragtime show or something like that and got to see and experience the history is going to remember that a whole hell of a lot more than trying to decipher that Common Core crap that they have out there these days.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, but I remember as a kid, going to some of these. We learned about, as an example, Mark Twain when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. Okay, his name was Samuel Clemens, great American writer. He got his name off of this the canals that he was working on as a kid, and there was the whole Halley's Comet thing where he was born when Halley's Comet came in and died when Halley's Comet went out. That's what I remember from school. Okay, but as I was living in Massachusetts at the time and it was nearby, we actually got to go to his house. We took a field trip to his house, and I remember, this huge house in the sweeping staircase and the stenciling along the wall, and he had this old-time bicycle there that my dad was working at a bicycle factory at the time that was actually from his, it was a Columbia bicycle, so it was actually, one that my dad's factory would have made. And so it's like this living, breathing history. By the way, the house is haunted too. That you actually got to experience firsthand. You hear the story about the Lincoln assassination and John Wilkes Booth. It's something different when you actually go to Ford's Theater and you get to experience all of that and see firsthand where it happened. It's a whole hell of a lot different than just reading it in a book or having your teacher tell you about it. So this is real education, just going to these places and experiencing it for yourself.
Now, question:
and I'll get off my soapbox.
That's okay. Hop on and off all you want. Have y'all tried to hit some of the businesses in St. Louis? If the Goldenrod spent so much time there, then businesses that were around when that was happening would have memories of it, and it's donations are tax deductible. It could be considered a charitable donation. So, instead of individuals donating the $5 that they can, a business can donate $500 or $5,000.
And it is a nonprofit, so that's definitely a tax deduction for them. The Riverboat Association is a nonprofit. So
give me a list of phone numbers.
Yeah.
I'll turn on the charm. Have them watch.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know who all they may have contacted out there. Shana may not know. Jake, are you out there?
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, and Shana says, in answer to Robert, we've been having benefits in St. Louis for the boats. Some money was raised, but again, there's just not enough out there from the general public. And so I guess Vanessa's question is, what about the businesses in St. Louis? Would they be willing to do something to bring the Goldenrod back? Megan is...
Hell, that's not far away.
Megan was saying something about the Red Mill Inn. Okay.
Yeah, St. Louis isn't far away from me. I could meet y'all there for a day and we could go talk to people.
There you go.
On Saturday, I could meet y'all there. It's not that far away.
I don't know who all we talked to, but hey, what about Anheuser-Busch? They got all kinds of money in beer, right?
What a fucking commercial that would make. Can you imagine? Oh, give me their number. Yeah. We could work this. That would be an amazing commercial. Can you imagine a bunch of big old burly guys out there with, you know, their tools or whatever, showing them taking it down, and they're drinking Anheuser-Busch, and the commercial talks about Anheuser-Busch supporting the preservation of history and historical landmarks.
Yeah, that'd be great if they buy into it.
That's
if we could,
cool.
you know, pitch something to them and say, hey,
I can write up.
here you go. You're supporting St. Louis history, which you are a part of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can draw up the storyboards.
Okay.
That's
So,
awesome.
and Andrew's saying Budweiser was there in St. Louis before Goldenrod made it. Yeah, actually, they would have been. But, you know, they would have been operating at the same time. Because, yeah, Anheuser-Busch was there late 1800s. So, yeah. But they would have crossed paths. And Shauna's just kind of clarifying, you know, nobody but the landowners are allowed on the boat and the property right now. And yeah, that's just because of the insurance issue right now. So.
Well, so then how would that work? Let's say that we got somebody to donate a bunch of money. Let's say that we got somebody to do that in order to move the showboat. How will they get on the land?
Well, it'll need to get insured again, and that's the thing that's keeping the. And I actually don't understand right now how the landowners are allowed on the boat if they don't actually own the boat. And there's. Okay, I understand nobody being allowed on the boat right now because of an insurance issue. Okay, but I don't understand how the landowners could possibly get on the boat because they don't own it. Then right away you could say, hey, the owners, I know it's your land, but the owners of this, you can't, and plus it's not insured, so that would be a lawsuit waiting to happen right there.
Well, you would think so, but possession is 9/10.
Yeah.
And it's on their property.
I mean, basically for almost any price you can insure something. So to insure something like that now, you'd have to pony up a lot just for the insurance. That is kind of what would happen. You know, I mean, sports players they'll insure sports players that, you know, this guy's injury prone, but we have insurance on him, and so, you know, and that's millions and millions of dollars because these guys make that much. So for almost any price, you can throw money at an insurance company, you know, and that just I guess it makes it legally safer to bring people on there.
You froze there for just a second.
And Shauna's trying to say to me, when insurance defaults, the boat goes back to the landowners. Even if they got on it without our permission, they hold all the cards right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, possession's 9/10. It's on their land. So, and essentially what that means is the boat is now in their hands, so it would need to be purchased from them at whatever cost they chose. Is that correct?
Well, the Riverboat Association owns the boat right now. It's like, okay. Let's try to think of another situation here. Let's say my car, my car stalls out in somebody's driveway. I can't get it started. I don't think they can sell my car. They could probably get it towed, and it would cost me. I don't think that they would actually be allowed to get into my car.
Well, it's a different situation because your car is a personal item. It's not owned by. It's not owned by.
The government says that. Government says that businesses are people. So it's personal to the Riverboat Association.
But it's a non-profit, so it's not a business.
It's a non-profit organization. Yeah.
So it's not.
So it's still a person. It would still be a person.
Yeah. But if somebody, and I don't know exactly what the exact time limit is, but I have a friend, a coworker, that this happened to. Somebody left their car at her house, and it stayed there for 6 months. By that 6 month time, because they never came back for it, by that 6 month time period, she was able to take that car, because they left the keys too, take that car, drive it to the tag agency, and actually get it tagged and titled in her name and got a free car.
Well, yeah, I mean, at that point, it might be considered abandoned.
Exactly.
So at what point would...
It's the lack of insurance that's doing it.
Yeah. But see, this just happened, so that gives... Yeah. I mean, I don't know the laws of Illinois.
I don't either, yeah. I don't claim to. But that's what's giving them these rights, is the lack of insurance. Because if it isn't insured, technically it isn't really owned by anybody. Because nobody is claiming it. Because insurance is part of the claim. I used to work for State Farm, and that is your claim to your vehicle, because you pay a monthly premium or a yearly premium or a biannual premium in order to insure your vehicle. So
well, yeah, there's that, but I also have a title and a registration for it.
True, but without insurance.
Without insurance, I can't legally drive it. True,
you can't legally drive it. But if this was on land that the Riverboat Preservation Society owned, this would be a moot point.
Well, that would be different, and that's the whole problem, is that it's on land that that the association doesn't own. So maybe we're looking at it from the wrong perspective right now, because we keep talking about raising money for the boat and getting the boat moved, and paying for insurance on it right now, so people can get back on there and do that. Maybe the angle that we should be looking at it is, because these people are talking about wanting to retire and move on and all that. When we look at buying the land, buy the land from them, and then the whole point of moving the boat right this very moment, or getting the insurance for it right this very moment, all that becomes a moot point, because now you also own the land. So maybe the funds that we should be trying to raise are to buy the land from the landowners.
Now, and the land that it's sitting on, because I've seen the pictures that you have, it is directly next to a public street. Is that correct? To a public road.
Yeah. There's the highway that's right there.
Their land ownership would stop at that section of the road.
Yeah, I don't know how far up and down it goes.
And from what I remember of the picture, the boat was less than 100 feet, 200 feet from the road.
Yeah, I don't know if they own anything on the other side of the road or what have you. I don't know what the plot is. And that's something we can find out.
My point is on that.
Andrew's throwing up big, nasty capital letters to me. Mike, read what I said.
Okay, where's Andrew? Okay. Is he yelling at you again?
He's joking. Are you call the federal marshals for unlawful kidnapping of the goldenrod? Okay. Nice.
He actually might be onto something. Because technically, if they're not allowing the organization, which you said is a person that owns the goldenrod, onto that boat, then they are essentially taking illegal possession of something they don't own.
Well,
Hey,
I don't know if it's this would be something that lawyers in the courts would have to hash out, because I get what you're saying, but it's not one of those that, like, I left my car in their driveway and now they won't let me get my car, and so they would be illegally possessing my car at that point. If I could get up on there and drive it away and then be gone, then that's one thing. You can't do that with the boat right now. It can't move. So it's stuck. So is it really illegal possession of it? Because it can't move. Nobody can just bring the tugboat up and just yank it out of there right now.
True, that's true. But if their big stink is the fact that it isn't insured, is their land insured?
I have no idea. I mean, I imagine that there's some sort of insurance being paid on the land.
You'd like to think so, but people would imagine there was some type of insurance being paid on the boat. So that might be another angle. And that's public. That's public information. That's something that can actually be found out. You know, you have to have the coordinates and everything to find out if that actual piece of the land that the boat is on is insured, because that's their only claim. If they won't allow even the owners of it, which is the Riverboat Preservation Society, if they won't allow them on it, it's because it would make their insurance liable for injury.
Okay. Shauna's saying that they did want and tried to buy the land involving the boat. Okay, so what did they just say no, or did they have a price? I mean, because one of the things that, you know, that I've heard a few times now is that, you know, they want the boat gone so that they can sell the land and go on and retire. So if they're willing to part with the land and sell it, you know, what was the asking price? Was it one of those that they were maybe willing to sell the land and just the asking price was too high? I'd be interested in knowing.
Now, I also just saw here where Shana said that it was a massive flood that carried the boat there. Well, that does become a government situation, because that would be covered generally under that government umbrella of insurance for natural disasters. So has anybody went down that route?
But you're talking like 15 years ago.
Okay, well,
so
it'd still be worth a shot. It'd still be worth a shot. You can tie up enough red tape to where they can't touch it until you can figure something out.
Okay, and Shauna's saying they charged us an outrageous price at the time that we wanted to purchase it. We just didn't have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we find out what the price is, or was? I'm curious. I'm really curious as to what the price was.
Because that's just kind of where we're stuck at. I mean, we can find all the red tape in the world to stop them from being able to do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
You can tie them up in red tape for a decade, but we just have to know what we're dealing with.
Right,
Then
and there's not really a decade to do it. I mean, and that's another sad thing about locations like this is, you know, things get tied up in red tape for so long, and the location disintegrates. You know, it's happened to a number of different historic locations and houses, and there was that what was the name of it? I'm not even going to try. I would butcher it. It's something French, but it was a Gothic church in Paris that, you know, I forget exactly how old it was, but it was like, you know, 100 and some odd years old, and, you know, they just, you know, it got tied up in legal wrangling. You know, it was going to cost some money to fix it, and nobody was like there to take care of it. And as it perpetuated for years and years and years, you know, the roof started caving in and all this stuff, to the point where it actually did become very dangerous to actually have the building there, because you're talking about, you know, the steeple that's on there could, you know, fall over and what have you. So they ended up tearing down this, you know, beautiful Gothic cathedral in Paris. You know, and it's like, you know, yeah, you could tie it up in legal for a long, long time, so that it's not for a period of time taken apart and destroyed and all that, but that decay over that time could destroy it anyway.
That's true. That's very true. Just trying to buy time, because
well,
time
yeah, no, and I get that. Yeah, I'm like all for buying some time right now, but it can't be for like another 10 years. That boat's not going to last out there another 10 years.
Oh, well, this is a pickle.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It's, you know, a big time problem with historic locations like this. And I know we've been almost exclusively talking about the goldenrod, but it's true of many historic locations where, you know, they're scrambling and scraping, you know, for the money to try to, you know, keep the places up, whether that's in insurance or you know, just in general upkeep of the location or property taxes or whatever. And a lot of times these you know, historic locations are suddenly, you know, hit with, you know, fire codes or something like that. Well, we've updated the fire code, so now you have to bring the property up to meet this code, and now all of a sudden they have to fork out, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars to do all these renovations on this, historic location that's never seen a lick of fire. But they have to do something to it to bring it up to these fire codes, and there's money in that they have to throw out. And sometimes these places just don't have it, and they have to close up shop, which is sad.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you don't. I know that happened in France, but you don't really see this a lot overseas. They try to preserve what they've got. I mean, they hold great stock in it. I mean, now in Europe, the old churches are actually doing a thing where you can, instead of staying in hotels or hostels or B&Bs, you can pay to camp. It's called camping. You can pay to camp in churches.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And the money goes to those churches to keep them, up to code or whatever it is, to keep them going.
That's great. If they're doing things like that, and I guess maybe it might just depend on the location. Like I know, I remember it was either reading or watching some stuff on Herculaneum, which was the other city that got blasted by Vesuvius, along with Pompeii. And they've done a great job of restoring Pompeii and keeping up on that. But Herculaneum, for many years, it's like they uncovered it and it was like, hey, we found the ancient city of Herculaneum. Awesome, kudos to us. And then they just let it go. Their whole big prize was in finding it, and then the archaeologists pulled out, and there goes the funding for the location, because it was all in about finding the location. And all of a sudden you have this great big exposed archaeological dig, all this ancient structure that was getting blasted by the elements, and it was deteriorating, where it had been preserved under all the volcanic ash for 2,000 years, and now it's exposed to the elements and crumbling. So and that was probably like 10 years ago or something. I don't know if they've done something since then to keep it back.
To my knowledge,
yeah. But things like that happen too. So
yeah, it would have just as much historical importance as anything else. I know we're just trying to come up with something.
You were breaking up. I didn't hear you. But Megan is suggesting, Mike, any way you can get people in the field to donate items and do a live auction to help raise funds. Could be equipment, books, psychic readings, etc. We could try. We could try to do an auction and throw some items out there for people to acquire and raise a few bucks that way. I know we're doing the thing with the books right now, or just a straight up GoFundMe. Boom, just throw some money at it. But if people want some stuff in return, maybe we can get people to donate items that maybe some old K2 meters or audio recorders, or we've got plenty of books.
Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it just real quick. I want everybody in the chat to hear this, and I want them to tell everybody they know. At one point in time, Shana put a thing up that said that GoFundMe had been seen by over 35,000 people.
Yeah.
Now, let's break this down, folks. Okay, and I don't mean to go all school teacher on you, but I do know a little bit of math. And if every single person who had seen that post had donated $1, we might not be having this discussion right now.
Yeah.
Especially if they had donated $2. I donated 10 or 20 myself, and I am a broke ass single mom working 60 flipping hours a week. So if you can get on that GoFundMe page, put in $1 or $2 and share it, and just tell people we're not asking for much, $1 or $2, and share it again and ask those people $1 or $2. If every person who had seen it had donated $1, that'd be $35,000, right?
Yeah, it was really kind of the GoFundMe is still active, and I threw a few more dollars at it yesterday, but it's kind of a shame. Usually with things like this, the numbers that you usually look at are 10%. 35 1,000 people saw it, so you estimate about 10% are going to do something about it. Well, that's 3,500 people. Yeah, I think there was like maybe 6 of us that threw a few dollars at it, 6 or 7 of us. That's sad. That is really sad that many people saw it. I mean, that's not even 1%. 1% would be 350 people. We didn't even. I mean, what in the world? It's.
Well, I think
I'm just.
People get frustrated because they think that they've got to donate more than they've got, and you don't.
No, donate $1.
You don't have to donate more than you've got.
There's somebody out there that threw $5 at it. There's somebody that I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been one of Shana's friends or somebody she knew. That threw $5 at it. It's fine. I understand people are strapped for cash and aren't loaded and all that, but $5 is a freaking cup of Starbucks coffee. Don't drink your Starbucks coffee today. That's gonna kill you anyway. Trust me, it was hurting my liver. But don't drink your Starbucks coffee today and throw $5 at the goldenrod. That's it. Or like a traditional cup of coffee is like maybe $1.29 these days. So yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I think people do. I think they get embarrassed because they're like, okay, well, it's going to be embarrassing if I only donate this much, and so I'll share it, but I can't do it.
No, don't be embarrassed if it's only a couple dollars or whatever. I mean, we have somebody in there that donated $5. It's awesome. Thank you. You are somebody that actually donated something. And all these others didn't. And I have had people that contacted me about buying books, The Encounters with Paranormal Volume 2, which goes to help support the Goldenrod. Okay, great, because that money's going toward the Goldenrod. Thank you, for that. So that was another way to do it. But yeah, 35,000 and couldn't even get 1% at 350. That's I don't know. I'm talking 350 people to do something. Yeah,
it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much, and I mean, I'm begging them. $1.
Yeah.
Tell everybody, $1
from,
and share the fuck out of it.
Yeah. $1 from everybody would be fantastic. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not much.
Nope.
Yeah, I know.
It is. It's been an hour. It's been an hour.
I know, right?
I know.
Doesn't feel.
No, because this one went by really fast.
It did. Bitch the whole
and
time.
I know a lot of it was kind of getting up on the soapbox and ranting a little bit, but I think for this, it's needed. There's so many, and it's not just the goldenrod, but the goldenrod is kind of our focus right now because it's in some serious peril right now. But for me, it's all these different locations that are out there that need our help, that need to be preserved and have that history remembered. And remember, keep in mind, it's also about the spirits and the people that are there, that energy that is attached to these locations. These were their homes or their livelihood, or with the goldenrod, there's so much there about the shows and the people that had a really interesting part of their lives that they spent there. For Captain Minky, it was his life, so, and it's a part of American history that's just it's gone. The riverboats don't exist these days like that. It's all they got some of the casinos on the water and stuff, but that's different. This was a part of American culture in the early 20th century. So please help.
I want to address something real quick,
Yeah.
Because I've been watching the chat. Shauna's been doing the best she can, trying to keep up with
Yeah.
everybody. There's a lot going on. So if she hasn't been able to get to everyone, please understand that. She's not ignoring anybody. She's not trying to intentionally ignore ideas. For those who do have ideas, we're all on Facebook. You know that. We all love you. Hop on my page, Mike's page, Shauna's page, Hollywood Media's page, whatever it is with ideas. To find the GoFundMe site, we'll be posting that again. it's hard to keep up with it when it's going so fast here, but this won't be more than after today. This will continue to go on. So by all means, any questions, ideas, donations you have, you can contact any one of the three of us. And we'll do the best we can to take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Vanessa's right. I mean, we've been throwing it up there for the last week, and we'll continue to do so. And I know some people are probably thinking, "Oh, you're spamming." Well, you can think if I'm spamming if you want. I think throwing it up there once a day isn't really doing that, but
people put up GoFundMe pages to save money for travel.
Yeah.
No, it's not spam. That's spam. So
right.
No. I'm just saying.
I get it.
Got it out there.
All right, let's go ahead and do some shout outs because I know we're down to that time, and Vanessa's right. I mean, we're not meaning to ignore anybody. It's just been the topic that we've had tonight has been it hasn't been so metaphysical. It's been more physical, but still, of course, we're talking about paranormal and haunted locations, and the real history, and basically where these spirits are coming from. So, okay. Give me the shout outs. Of course, need to thank Shana, our chat Shananigator. Thank you, my love, for trying to keep up with the chat room. It has been really, really busy in there tonight. Bethany, thank you for joining us again tonight. Donna Gorton. I know Donna Bucksbaum was in there as well. B3 Airspace. Thank you very much. Tammy Heitzman, of course. Joanne Rubino, thank you. Ghostly Cowboy, thanks for coming back. Fran Molino. Linz White. Tina the Best, thank you. And we weren't trying to ignore you. It's just been one of those nights. Emma Bedchick, thank you. Can you donate here directly? What you can do is, I'll put the link down below is what I'll end up doing. But also you can go to, kind of like what Vanessa was saying, you can go to, my page, the Haunted Road Media page, all that. I don't know if somebody can throw the link in there in the chat real quick directly to the GoFundMe. But yeah, we've got it posted in a lot of different places. I think you're on my Twitter. I know I've been tweeting it. Okay, Carrie Parrish, thank you. I know you've had some comments all throughout the night. Ludafan, thank you for joining us tonight. Who else do we have? Robert White, thank you for your suggestions and feedback throughout the night. I know you're the first one in the chat tonight. See, Andrew Cox, I know I gave you a shout out earlier too. Who else do we have? I know I saw Diane Hilbert in here earlier. Who else do we have? Jimmy Cortez. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better. And let's see, did we have the Millers in here tonight? There's Danella. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Megan Talbert, thank you. And
I didn't have a chance to write them down tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And I think, because I'm going up and up and up, I think that is going to about do it. I know there were other people in here, but
oh, I love Tammy. She goes, let's make it the Mad Hatter movement and all post the GoFundMe pages on their Facebook.
There you go. Yeah, and we love you, Mad Hatters.
Yes, very much.
So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, it's when it comes to history and the paranormal, there's a symbiosis there between the two. Without the history behind the people and the locations, we don't have the paranormal. We don't have the the haunted locations to go out there and investigate and check out. And it all relates to each other. It all works together. It all flows, and there's a lot of mystery behind it all. And there's also a part of retaining these places so that we remember our past and where we came from, and not letting it get lost to time. So please keep that in mind, and if you can throw a couple bucks out there, and, to help the goldenrod, that would be absolutely fantastic. So that's going to do it for the rabbit hole tonight.
You do.
There you go.
Right, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll do something a little more, I guess, supernatural next week. But again, this is all part of it. So and part of what we do here at Haunted Road Media is we support these historic haunted locations. So I'm Mike Ricksecker for Vanessa Hogle and Shana Wankel. Have a good night. Till next time.